Chubstep.
Jrad. Cacao.
Creating the oil of judgment.
Steed.
Step.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the king of the jungle.
Sir,
I also am racist.
sir, please have a seat.
I'm sorry, you're a racist?
No, I'm sorry. I'm not racist. I was told that would work.
Who told you that? All right, never mind. If I put you under oath, you would attest that you are not a racist. Is that correct?
I'm not. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
And the show has started.
Welcome back to another episode. We got the meats. We got the beef. We got the hot dogs. Chubstep.
Chubstep, baby. Steed, you did a very professional move there. You did something where you cued me in 3, 2. Yeah, that was pro. Very pro.
Yeah, I thought, I got all these fingers. Might as well use them.
Exactly. I like it. I appreciate it. All right, very professional show. This will be very professional. No laughing, no funny business.
Nope.
Strictly informational podcast.
We're going to talk about civil war, a deadly civil war.
Oh, shit.
Well, later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that'll come in during the Steed Science, which was teased, and I'm here to deliver.
Okay, perfect. That was teased. Steed, what do you want to get to first?
First, I want to get to a very controversial topic. Does gay pornography belong in the courtroom?
In the courtroom?
Yes.
As in like a jury, like the judicial system?
Just like in court, like playing in the background.
Well, when you're saying court, you're talking about not like a basketball court. You're talking about
not a
like
basketball court.
A legal court.
Judicial court.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Your answer is yes.
Does it belong in it? Is it part of the case or just involved?
Nope.
It just
Nope.
if it's not involved in the case, I'm going to say it does not.
Okay. So I recently had lunch with an insider. I had a sit down with an insider at the King County courthouse.
Okay.
And they wish to remain anonymous. They are a whistleblower, and they whistleblowed that they're still doing Zoom like trials. I don't know if they're doing Zoom trials, but they're doing shit on Zoom.
Yeah.
And he said that somebody keeps joining the meetings and just playing loud gay porn on the Zoom call.
How do they not know who it is?
Well, so they said they're searching for him, like the police. I'm like, is that even illegal? He's like, oh, it's illegal. And they're trying to get this guy.
Oh my God.
But he said,
so is it? Yeah, keep going.
Oh, he said the morning of like that I saw him. So like a few hours prior, somebody joined, and they joined like as the name of attorneys or whatever.
Okay.
So it's not suspicious. And then he said it was a video called something barbershop, and it was just a naked guy giving a haircut to another naked guy.
Is that gay porn? Or is that just two naked guys cutting their hair?
Yeah, I'm assuming the porn part came later.
Okay, I see.
The actual penetration.
Yeah. So I don't think that'd be very appealing just purely based on the amount of hair that would be everywhere. I don't think I'd want to, I get annoyed when I get a little hair like on my neck. They get a little brush thing and get that off my neck.
Yeah, I'm assuming their whole bodies would have had to be brushed.
Exactly, and I would not have enjoyed that. So
yeah, or the little blower they got.
Yes, there was probably a different little blower involved that wasn't typical for her. But okay, so let's think. I think this is bad. Yeah, this would be bad in any scenario, let alone like a legal like, what is the person getting out of this? Like, to the point where he's not like, you're gonna get caught. Like, there's no way they can't just track who does this. It notifies you who's talking in these things.
You can do a VPN.
Exactly.
So the meetings, they're public because they have to be public.
Legally, they have to be public because anybody can walk into a courtroom. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, if let's say Channel 5 News wanted to watch this, whatever.
Yeah.
It's all out there. So that means, you can't go into court and then they just beat you up and take your $25 and say, get the hell out of here. Like what happened to me in Omaha.
Yeah. I've been there.
Yeah. So they just join. And I mean, if you use like just a VPN,
yeah,
I'm assuming that would just absolutely fuck any tracking. You need like the FBI to come in. You're like, FBI,
I
we
was
need
gonna
you.
say, yeah. You're gonna need some
like,
big dogs.
What is it? Who's been kidnapped? And they're like, nobody. Somebody keeps putting gay porn on our on our Zoom calls.
Yeah. Would they, I guess, here's the real question. Would they be as upset if it were heterosexual porn? Because
that's what I'm
not.
wondering.
Yes. If not, then this could definitely be considered a hate crime.
I think that heterosexual porn would be more offensive. And this is from somebody that's heterosexual, right? I see the gay porn and I'm like, oh, what are those guys doing in there? These crazy guys. I'm not aroused, right?
I see. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I'll get a little chubbed up if they have like good bots, if they have hot bots.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's the only reason. Anyway,
I get it. Yeah.
But if I see like even like a 2 going at it with a 4 hetero, it's going to pique my interest a little bit. I'm going to be like,
a 2?
I don't know. Maybe they're doing some cool stuff. Maybe they're dressed up as Pikachu.
Yeah.
Like one's Pikachu. And that's gonna get me going, and I'm gonna have to feign outrage and be like, come on. Somebody turn this off.
This is not the time or place. This is not the time or place.
And they're like, stand up, Paul, and go turn that TV off. And I'm like, I can't. I will not stand up.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I think this is bad. I think this is not the type of prank I would have. I think, first of all, I think this person's probably going to get caught. I would have done like something different. Like I would join and just like have ridiculous. Can they see the people's faces in the audience? I guess that's the big question.
Yeah. There's some TikToks of, I can't remember the guy's name, or I can't remember the name of the TikTok. But there's TikToks out there where they're like person joins and like the court people are like, whoa.
Exactly. Yeah.
And like some people are just outraged. And somebody did this at like some rapper's trial that was like actually in the courtroom. And I think somebody happened to be like on like a witness or something was on Zoom. And then they got into the like court and just started blasting porn.
Oh God.
It's nuts.
Right.
It's a crazy thing to do.
So yeah, I would do one of those things, right? Just dress up in a ridiculous outfit and join, or like but not enough where it'd be like people would have to think it's real. Like somebody could actually look like that, but just like ridiculous looking facial hair.
Wear these sunglasses.
Wear those sunglasses. Some ridiculous facial hair that nobody has, like the ones with the guys with like a curly Q, like a question mark. Mustache and stuff.
Yeah, cool.
Things are just that's what I would go more lines of then, because that's something you wouldn't really get in trouble for, just looking ridiculous. But if you're playing something that's lewd or crass,
at least censor it.
It's interesting, and I hope he's brought to justice, swift and speedy justice.
I hope he is too, because I would love to watch that trial on Zoom.
Yeah, I just want exactly that's the trial I want to watch on Zoom, and then I can start doing the same
would be
thing.
Crazy.
I just want to see what this guy looks like. I'm assuming he looks like the toe guy.
He's probably pretty equivalent. He's like a younger toe, because toe guy can't use a computer. He doesn't know what cameras are.
That's a very good point. All right. Speaking of this, Jrad 30, Vita Coco. Don't forget I haven't talked about it in a while, but Jrad 30 on.
You're
what?
You're just going from gay porn to Vita Coco sponsorship?
Well, Vita Coco supports the homosexual community.
They do. That's how you want to hydrate after, a long session. Vita Coco. Use code JRAD30.
JRAD30, 30% off your order at vitacoco.com. Okay. Steed, this past weekend, I was over at an old coworker's house and they made dinner for us. I had done this for them in the past. I thought we'd put together a pretty good menu, pretty good dinner. And I was pretty happy. They're kind of a 3-course thing, right? Little like mussels to start off with. We made like a nice chicken thing in the middle, and then we had a nice dessert and stuff like that. We go over to their place, and the guy had made his own chicken liver pate. Then they said a bunch of like appetizer things. Then they had like he hand rolled his own pasta, and like I've made my own pasta quite a few times. But he did it where he didn't even want to use the machine to roll out the pasta. He just got a big roller and rolled it, like a big roller that was like 3 feet long, and just rolled it and rolled it and rolled it till it was thin enough to be a pasta.
In front of you, or did you
in front of me? Yes. No, in front of me. It is a power move, and I like it. Like I said, when you roll pasta, you want it to be as fresh as possible, right? So. But typically I have the machine, like a KitchenAid has this little, you put the dough through it and you fold it as it's going through. It does the work for you.
Yeah, I've got an old Italian one.
Exactly. So he did this old school way. And then he had another kind of meat thing on top of that. And then at the end, he hand cranks his own ice cream. Like he had a ice cream machine that was hand crank, an old school like metal one with ice around it. And hand cranks, for like 15 minutes until the ice cream is done. And then they put that with some an olive oil cake that they had made. Now, I'm like, and everything was amazing. And
you pissed him off really bad when you had him over the first time.
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee he gets there and his girl's like, "Oh my God, that was amazing. Oysters." And he probably didn't hear the end of that shit for like a fucking week. And then he's just like sitting there so pissed, like planning like this son of a bitch. Just so mad. And then he finally gets a chance. Probably didn't even tell his girlfriend, whatever, boyfriend. He probably didn't even tell her like, "Oh, I'll make it, don't worry about it." Meanwhile, he just busts out the fucking pasta hand cranker, ice cream hand cranker, just staring you dead in the eye the whole time.
Yeah. Well, so I 100% see, and want to. So now So now if we're gonna have them back over, how do I top that? Right.
I
was thinking.
Chicken.
Yeah, you go.
Okay, so if you want to, you can. This is what I would do. I would make a better version of everything that he made. So he made a chicken. He made a chicken liver pate. You make a duck liver pate, or like a duck confit. You're like, this is actually a better. You don't say it like that. You go, this is actually a different take on liver. Kind of like how you made, but this one's a little more refined. And then, like, instead of homemade ice cream, you go and you import lemons from Tuscany, and you make sherbet or something.
Yeah.
And you go, yeah, this is just a better digestif instead of ice cream.
So you want me to the super nice thing that this guy just did for us, you want me to like kind of shame him the next time he comes over?
Absolutely.
I was thinking, yeah, I like that. I was thinking, Steed, like I go even more like homemade. He's using flour, right, and eggs, but like he's not making his own flour. Like I have to get the grain.
You start a garden.
I start a garden. I get some wheat going, and I'm grinding the wheat down to a powder to make the flour.
Come over at 6 a.m. This is gonna take a minute.
I make the flour. I'm butchering the animals.
You gotta kill the thing.
Yeah.
You send him the week before a few pictures of like whatever cows and be like,
yeah,
which is the cutest one? And he's like, I don't know, the middle. Then you just butcher that thing in front of him.
The thing is that I don't think it wouldn't phase him because he grew up on a farm. It's not going to phase him that way. But I was just trying to think, it gets to a certain point. If everybody keeps going at higher and higher level, at some point, it does become like you're saying, like a multiple day event, and there's not one single ingredient purchased from a store. And you
could go gastro too. You could go the opposite way. Instead of dumbing it down, you take everything science, you Steed Science it to the molecular level.
Oh yeah.
And feed him like foam.
Yeah.
Hey,
everything's a foam.
But I just deconstructed everything and eat this foam real quick.
Yeah. I was gonna say the most annoying deconstructed thing I ever had. I talked about this on the show like years and years ago. But I was with Chubstep Taylor, and we were in Los Angeles, and we got a deconstructed guacamole, and it was a bunch of slices of avocado, and then some like slices of onion and slices of tomato, and like some lime wedges. And they basically were like, just make your own guacamole.
Mix that shit up.
It was like on a plate, just like, and I was like, what is this? This is so stupid.
Yeah, that's
just
pretty
a bunch of ingredients. But you're right, Steve. You're right. That's the other way you got to go. Then instead of more farm to table, you got to go like super sciencey.
Yeah, beakers.
You need like special glasses just to see half the food you're eating.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
If he wants to, try and impress you, re-impress you, you got to hit him with something good.
Yes, I will say
start a war.
Exactly, start a war. A rivalry for the ages. It was an amazing meal, and I really appreciate it. I was just trying to think, where do you even go from there? And I think we answered the question.
Or this is my last take. You hire a celebrity chef, so that you actually don't have to cook anything. That's like that's another power move.
That is a power move. You're right.
But you got some options.
I got some options.
I'm excited to see which direction you go.
Good. All right. Do you want to get to your Steed Science?
Sure.
Everything in this world is made up of matter. And those matters behave with each other in certain ways. And that, students, is chemistry. Everything in this world is made up of matter. And those different matters behave amongst each other in different ways. And that, children, is Steed Science.
All right. So this week's Steed Science is on rubber.
Ooh.
Rubber. And this came about because I think I heard it on a commercial, the word rubber.
Okay.
And then for some reason I was like, rubber. And I was like, man, that's a weird word. Rubber. It doesn't, like, it's weird. And I'm like, what the hell is rubber? So I found out that rubber is obtained. So there's two ways, two rubber, synthetic and natural. The OG rubber, the natural rubber, is obtained from exudations of certain tropical plants. So you go into the jungle, right? And you find a plant, and then you cut it, and then the rubber will seep out.
Okay,
it's not rubber, though. It's like latex. They call that latex.
Okay.
So, like, remember we did the gas Steed Science? And you get the crude oil, and then you have to make it into other oils, like gasoline, by boiling and such. Kind of the same here. So you get your latex, and that's like the main milky fluid. It's actually white, which is weird because most rubber is black, but they figured that out.
Okay.
Okay, well, first, Joseph Presley named rubber in 1770.
Okay.
And he named it because he found it could be used to rub out pencil marks.
Oh, really? Like an eraser?
Yeah.
What we call an eraser now?
Yeah, but that was rubber. Yeah, well, because rubber like took over the game. He thought, oh my God, nobody's gonna have to worry about pencil marks anymore. And he thought that was it.
That was his grand idea. Yeah.
Yes. And then people were like, this is dumb as shit. Didn't use it for about
pens are better anyway.
80 years. Yeah. Yeah. So then vulcanization got invented by one Charles Goodyear of the Goodyear tire fortune.
Blimps.
Goodyear blimp fortune. So that's why he's got blimp money, because he invented the vulcanization.
Okay.
So you get your natural rubber and then you go, I want to vulcanize it. So you go to the tree, you get the latex, you mix it with acid, a little bit of water, heat it up a bit, put some oxygen in there, put some carbon, which makes it black, and sulfur. And then you get rubber.
Yes.
There's probably other steps, but I don't know. And that's natural.
Yeah, that's
rubber,
the natural way to vulcanize rubber. Yep. And the vulcanized stuff that's the stronger stuff. I know they use vulcanized rubber for like hockey pucks. That's what the majority of rubber that people use is a vulcanized rubber, right? It's usually like a stronger, harder rubber.
Yeah. So unvulcanized that's shitty rubber.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's just latex.
Yeah.
It's barely even rubber. Yeah, but I'm assuming you can vulcanize it like harder or whatever, make a hockey puck a little bit softer, make a car tire.
Yep. Okay.
No, you're just vulcaning it. Then the other one is like petroleum, synthetic petroleum and natural gas. I don't know, it's gross. Don't buy synthetic rubber.
But I think synthetic rubber, sorry, Steve, correct me if I'm wrong. Here's the reason, only thing I know about rubber, and then you can continue.
Yeah.
I watch that show Mysteries of the Abandoned sometimes, and it's about places in the world that are abandoned now. And there's this place in the Amazon, I think it's in Brazil, that used to be a big rubber tree farm.
Yeah.
And Ford Motor Company bought it because they were like going to use it to make all the rubber for their tires.
Yeah.
And then once synthetic rubber was discovered, they were like, synthetic rubber is a lot better. They basically abandoned this rubber tree plant in Amazon.
How many times have you ever bought a Ford tire?
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
Goddamn right. None. But it's only like tropical places, so there's probably a couple more that popped up around Brazil.
Yeah.
It's still used.
Okay, so they still use some natural rubber.
Yes. And fun fact, like you got rubber in your wetsuits, right?
Oh, okay.
And that's because during the vulcanization process, you get a lot of tiny air bubbles or gas bubbles inside the rubber.
Okay.
So that makes it not conduct heat. It has so much insulation, those tiny little bubbles, the heat doesn't go through those.
Oh, gotcha.
And
okay.
Yeah, it's a good insulator.
Got it. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. So now I did
rubber coating around wires, right? For insulation for wires. Yeah.
I think that's for electricity though.
Yeah, I know it's a different insulation.
But another good use of rubber.
There we go. Yeah,
you can use a lot of it.
It's magical.
Yeah. One more rubber fact before we get into the bloody stuff.
Oh no, I thought that was it.
No. More than half of all rubber produced goes into tires.
Okay.
So if you're wondering, like, how much rubber do we need? You need take the amount of tires, double it. That's how much rubber gets used.
Now here's the twist, and there is a twist. We show it. We show all of it.
Okay, so I did tease some war, some blood. That a rubber
Civil War.
company got involved in. And I am going to tell you right now, boycott Firestone.
Ooh,
Tires.
nice. I don't have any
Boycott
Firestone
them.
tires.
Yes. They also try and rip you off if you ever go to one of their auto stores. So, screw them. And they got bought by the Japanese in like 1990 or something. So they're tricking you. So the reason don't buy Firestone is they had a big plant in Liberia, which is a country in Africa.
Africa, yeah.
Yes. And this was like, they started it way back in the day. This is kind of like a Chubb history. Way back in the day in like 1926, right? Some guy like Charles Dickhead Firestone or whatever his name was. His last name was Firestone.
Yeah.
And he was, somehow found a patch of like rubber trees that like wasn't controlled by England, because England like owned all the land or colonies, whatever.
Got it. Yeah.
Of that had the rubber. So he found this place. He's like, oh my God, I'm going to make so much money. And he got the deal of a lifetime. He's talking to Liberia, was settled, they had native people, but then after slavery ended in the US, they sent a bunch of former slaves to Liberia because they're like, oh, we're being so nice. Go back to Africa.
Pay over here. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Americo-Liberians is what they were called. The ones who came from America.
Okay. Yeah.
Just thought they were better than the native Africans and like built plantations and started like treating the natives like slaves.
Oh my God.
Pretty awkward.
Yeah.
But whatever. So Dickhead Firestone goes in, gets a deal. He leases 1 million acres of land for 6 cents an acre for 100 years. It's a 100-year term. Pretty good deal to get acre of land for 6 cents an acre.
What year was this? Oh, like
that was in 1926. 1926. So the deal would be going on still.
Okay.
So, Firestone exploits its workers for all the years. They turn like massive profit margins in this plant because they just like, don't have to pay the people anything.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Then in Liberia, some guy does a coup. And he's the president now. His name's Doe. And then some guy Taylor is like, hey, I don't like that BS. I'm gonna start my own rebel group.
Okay.
Full of child soldiers.
Oh, good. Okay.
Like a lot of child soldiers. You can
no.
Google some pics. It's nuts. They didn't go like easy on the Civil War over there. They were just like chopping people with machetes.
Oh no.
Doing a lot of bad stuff. Like a lot of bad stuff. They dress up like cross dressers and just naked and just murder villages. It was crazy. So they're doing all that, trying to take back, their land, and they end up taking control of the Firestone plantation.
Okay.
And then Firestone's like, oh man, all right, I guess we'll leave. So they leave for a little bit, and then they like call the guy, and they're like, and he's using it like as his headquarters because it's like the nicest. It had like all the money.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
It was like at one point they made like more than the government.
Oh my God.
Like the government's revenue.
More than in taxes that the government was bringing in.
Yeah, exactly. So they're just like, screwing them over, whatever.
Yeah.
So then they take that over, start using it as their headquarters. And then Firestone's like, come on, we want to do the rubber. Because they like lost $1 billion the year before. So they like make a deal with this warlord guy to like, give him a shit ton of money, and then they can still use the plantation.
Oh my God. Like, hey, just don't shoot us. We just want to make money.
Yeah. And like they did that, but it's in the whole midst of like this power struggle. And the US is telling them like, don't make a deal with them because, they're rebels.
Yeah, they're bad guys.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. And they pretty much like it's all under the table and all like nobody confirms anything, blah, blah, blah. But they just like paid them like millions of dollars like this rebel group that was probably not making that much before. So they funded this like child soldier rebel group, and they like got the rebel group like, you know, stormed and tried to take over the Capitol. And I think they ended up getting the president, like the Doe guy, and they like cut his ears off and shit on video. And like, I think they probably cut his head off, but they just like butcher this dude. And you're like, okay, maybe chill a little bit. But yeah, so after they like attacked the main center, Nigeria, who had like some troops in there, they were pissed and they just bombed the plantation.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Because, and Firestone's like, oh, what the hell? Like, it's just a plantation. And they're like, no, that was the whatever depot headquarters of this guy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so Firestone funded, and the guy that Charles Taylor, he's in jail because a war crimes tribunal got him.
So, and Charles Taylor's that was the Firestone executive.
No. He was the African warlord.
Oh, the African warlord. Yeah.
Child soldier, like,
gotcha.
Warlord.
Yeah, that guy. That makes sense.
If you want to read about some crazy ass shit, look up Liberia's civil war. It was in 1990s. It was in the 90s, so it was very recent. It was crazy.
Yeah, not great. I was hoping that the Firestone guy went to jail.
No. How'd he go? So Firestone actually made an insurance claim.
I see.
Because they like lost so much money. And they claimed with two companies. One company settled, and another company was like, war is not in your insurance policy.
Yeah.
And they tried to say it wasn't a war, it was just like a civil conflict.
Nice.
And
define war.
Yeah, then in all their like memos, they're like, there's a war going on. It's a war. And they did some other shady thing where they tried to say like they had to back out of business deals because of a war, like delivering on rubber.
Yes. Yeah, they're losing revenue, all this kind of stuff. So Steed, and I'm looking, and they also left like all their employees when they left Liberia. Yeah. They just basically left like 8,000 people without jobs.
Well, when they abandoned the factory. And I mean, they did. So they are back now in that same plant, but they do seem to be doing a little bit better job. They like built a high school.
Okay.
They feed the employees. Yeah, but they were turning like insane profit margins over there.
Yeah.
So even if they were to, go from whatever 15% down to like 10% and put 5% into like, showing, oh wow, we're such good guys. Yeah. They're still coming out of that pretty good.
Oh my God. Ridiculous. So this kind of falls in line with it's a slight Chub history, but not really a full one. So I was listening to this the story about Pompeii. This is actually not the fallen city or whatever. This is a Roman general politician guy.
Yeah.
And he got this, what was called the triumph. It was basically a big celebration in his honor.
Okay.
So, and very few people would get these. I think he had a couple, but basically, it's a very rare thing to get. Like one of the highest honors you could get in Rome. You would paint your face red face, an example of red face, to look like one of their gods. I think it was the god of Jupiter. Yeah.
Oh.
And you'd go down in your big chariot and all this stuff. But the fun thing about this was they would have a slave that would be with them, and he would have one job. And you know what that one job was, Steve?
Dousing this bitch in olive oil.
It's similar. He would yell. He would not yell. He'd whisper in the guy who was being celebrated ear. He'd whisper, Memento mori. Memento mori. Memento mori.
You just keep doing that?
And a rough translation of that is, remember you are mortal.
Oh, screw that.
This guy's one job was to sit there and basically like keep this the guy being celebrated his ego in check.
Oh my God. You know that, and if he's getting celebrated like that, he's got some pull. After that parade, when they're having like their dinner or whatever, you know, he's like, get that motherfucker over here.
It would be so hard. Even like,
who's mortal? Who's mortal now?
You're feeling good about yourself. You're feeling good about yourself. It would be hard to like hear this constantly in your ear, like, rubber, you're immortal. Like this is all gonna end at some point. And it's just like, God, it's crazy just that was like just the whole time. You know, it's an interesting job for somebody to have.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure. Yeah, what if he messed up the line?
But you do get to be like in the parade.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. That's probably the best job you could get as far as being a slave is concerned, is just you get to ride around on a chariot and whisper something in a guy's ear.
Yeah.
I agree, Steve. I don't even think about that, the positives of it, but it's a ridiculous concept.
Yeah, you're gonna take some flack later, but it's worth it for the moment, because you've probably been wanting to say that for a while. Be like, wash your feet again, fucking bitch. I ain't washing no feet, stinky ass Roman foot. But yeah, you can't say it. And then one day Caesar comes up, he's like, dude, we got it. He's high-fiving you. He's like, you're gonna be the guy. You're gonna say that thing.
Memento mori. Yeah, there we go. So that's a little fun fact for that.
I like it.
But email the show, chubstep.podcast@gmail.com. Rate the show on Spotify. We saw we have some more ratings. We need more and more up on the ratings.
Bring it up.
Spotify. And share the episodes with somebody you know, somebody you love. A lover.
You don't have to love.
Whisper into somebody who's doing a parade. The next parade you go to, whisper in their ear, listen to Chubstep Podcast.
Listen to Chubstep Podcast.
Listen to Chubstep Podcast. Listen to Chubstep Podcast. And that's a good thing you can do, is whisper somebody in the praise ear. Exactly. All right. We're going to wrap it up there. The show has ended. Be gone.
Now you know you got to go.
Peace. This is Yasin.